Yo-Yo Ma. An early start. Yo-Yo Ma was born in 1955 in Paris, France. His parents, who were born in China, moved from France to the United States when Yo-Yo was 7. He got an early start to becoming one of the most talented and respected musicians in the world. His mother, Marina Lu, was a singer. His father, Yao Shan Ma, was a violinist and music professor who taught at Nanjing University before moving to teach at the Paris Conservatory, a world-famous music school after the family moved to New York City. Yo-Yo's father founded the Children's Orchestra Society to teach classical music to children. Yo-Yo's parents encouraged him to play music from a very young age. They gave him a violin when he was only 3, but Ma says he sounded terrible when he played it. He thought that he had no talent. His older sister, Yu Shang, says he smashed more than one violin in frustration. Despite his rough start, he'd soon prove that he had plenty of talent. Yo-Yo quit the violin within a few months, but he didn't stay away from music for long. A year later, his parents took him to the Paris Conservatory. When Yo-Yo saw a huge instrument, a double bass, Yo-Yo decided he wanted to learn to play it. A double bass is about 6 feet tall, which his parents thought was too large for a small child. They compromised me by agreeing to let Yo-Yo play the second biggest stringed instrument, the cello. When Yu Xiang was already a talented violinist when Yo-Yo took up the cello, their parents pushed them both to play challenging music with the Children's Orchestra Society and elsewhere. At the age 5, Yo-Yo had to memorize 3 suites by Bach, a classical composer who wrote many difficult pieces of music. Yo-Sung says her father used to tell her that any difficult task could be broken up with smaller, easier parts. Yo-Yo says their mother taught them to master technique so they could focus on the emotion behind the music instead of working about hitting the right notes. A young star. In 1962, Leonard Bernstein, America's most famous conductor, introduced an audience to a 7-year-old Chinese cellist playing old French music for his new American compatriots. One of those compatriots in the audience was the President John F. Kennedy. The following year, Yo-Yo and Yu Xiang played together on The Tonight Show. At the age when most children are playing their first notes on the recorder, Ma was already one of the most famous cellists in the world. His sister was also a gifted performer, but she ended her music career when she became clear that Yo-Yo was a star in the family. Yu Sheng is now a medical doctor who also runs the Children's Orchestra Society her father started. At 15, Ma graduated from high school and became a soloist in the Harvard Radcliffe Orchestra. He played his first wedding that same year, and he still loves playing them. He attended Juilliard, one of the best music schools in the world. Soon, however, he dropped out and switched to the Harvard University, where he studied classics, anthropology, and German literature. Matt continues to study music and play cello in addition to his other studies. However, he didn't want the cello to be the only thing in his life. During his first summer break from college, he played the Marlborough Music Festival, where he met and fell in love with Jill Horner, a college sophomore who ran the festival. For the rest of his college career, he spent summer vacations playing in Marlborough and getting to know Jill. They eventually married and had 2 children. Back problems. When Matt graduated, he had to immediately put his career on hold. Doctors told him he needed surgery to correct scoliosis, a condition that made the spine curve the wrong way. The surgery was risky, and if it went wrong, he might never be able to play the cello again. Without the surgery, however, Matt could face a lifetime of back pain. He thought it was worth the risk and underwent surgery after graduation. The procedure was successful, but it left Ma in a body cast for 6 months. He was unable to move around, much less play the cello. The recovery period was very frustrating time, but as soon as the cast was off, Ma was immediately in demand again. He began playing all over the world, often booking concert years in advance. He recorded his first album at age 23 and recorded over 75 albums in the years since. He won 15 Grammy Awards and is one of the best-selling classic artists alive. The cello he usually plays, named Petunia, was made in 1733 and is worth $2.5 million. In 1999, Ma left in the taxicab by accident. After the driver returned it, Ma recorded a message that played in every taxi in New York. The message reminded people not to leave things behind at the end of their ride. Mara is recognized as one of the most talented musicians in the world that has performed at many historic events. These include performances for the Statue of Liberty's 100th birthday, the first anniversary memorial of the September 11 attacks, and the opening ceremonies on the 2002 Olympic Games and President Obama's inauguration. He has become a central figure not only to classical music, but to all of American culture. These different points of view, Ma's Chinese heritage, French childhood, and American adulthood, are all important to him. All 3 cultures have shaped his music. He has spent his career looking for new cultures for inspiration. While he began by playing European classical music, he branched out into bluegrass, Argentine tango, jazz, and traditional music from China, Japan, and Brazil. He says that when people open themselves up to new cultures, they don't just understand music better, they also understand people better. Matt can listen to his old recordings and understand how his music has changed as he had experienced and absorbed new styles of music. On most of Ma's albums, he performs classical music, but he also performed In many other styles, he recorded his own versions of songs from the Cole Porter 1930s, Broadway musicals, and John Williams themes of Star Wars, E.T., and Jurassic Park. Ma also created several movie tracks of his own. He has recorded with bluegrass and jazz musicians, as well as with orchestras all over the world. The Silk Road. Because Ma's blend of backgrounds has always been important to him and his music, he founded the Silk Road Ensemble in 1998. Its group is made up of musicians and composers from 20 countries. They collaborate on music that draws their tradition all over the world. The Silk Road was a trade route that ran through Asia hundreds of years ago, uniting cultures across the entire continent. Silk Road isn't just a musical ensemble. It's also a non-profit group that uses music and art to connect people from different cultures. Even when Ma is not performing with the Silk Road ensemble, he serves as a non-profit's artistic director. He helps plan its programs to teach and perform music from around the world. I'm an accident. While many successful musicians credit hard work or natural talent, Yo-Yo Ma said he has no idea why he became one of the world's most talented musicians or why other talented performers don't reach the same level. I'm an accident, he once said. He claims his success is a combination of many things: his parents, his sister, various teachers, Paris, New York, his experience performing at a young age, meeting his wife, even raising his children. If any one of those things had been different, he feels as though he might have not become a world-famous musician. If he hadn't seen the giant double bass at the 4-year-old, as a 4-year-old, his whole life would have been different.